Have you ever felt like you're just playing a role in your own life, kind of performing for an audience that you never even chose? Well, we're about to dive into a really powerful story about what it takes to stop that performance, to just drop the script and reclaim who you are through what the author calls a mental health sabbatical. And this quote it hits you, doesn't it? This isn't just about needing a little break. No, this is a demand coming from your very core for a full stop intermission from a life that just doesn't feel like yours anymore. Author Thaddeus Mitchell really captures that breaking point perfectly here. So, what exactly is a mental health sabbatical? It's really important to get this part. This is not a passive retreat. It's not just hiding away. It is a strategic, deliberate, full-on break from harmful relationships and all that pressure to take up appearances. Now, to really understand why someone would need to take such a drastic step, we have to look at the backstory. What was the performance and who was the audience? Let's get into the family environment that pushed things to this point. Okay, this slide really lays it all out. It's like two different worlds. On the outside, to the public, it's all about responsibility, success, and what he calls family optics, making sure everything looks good. But behind that curtain, the reality was emotional distance, praise that always had strings attached, and a whole lot of guilt trips and silence. A total disconnect. And in that environment, he was juggling all these impossible roles, right? He had to be the son who pleased everyone, the brother who took all the blame, and the partner holding the family business together, all while being actively undermined. Just try to imagine the pressure of that, of holding it all together with absolutely zero real support. And listen, this wasn't just some passive family drama. There was an active campaign against him. His brother used these really calculated tactics, mocking his work, making him question his own reality, gaslighting, and turning people against each other. This wasn't just sibling rivalry. It was a coordinated attack. This quote, wow, it just perfectly sums up the stakes. It wasn't about being happy or unhappy anymore. Staying felt like he was literally bleeding out his own identity bit by bit. The choice wasn't just about comfort, it was about psychological survival. So all of that leads to the damage on the inside. When you spend decades trying to manage all that chaos and pushing your own needs down, it takes a massive hidden toll. Let's talk about the real price of being the family peacekeeper. And that's a question a lot of us can probably relate to, right? I mean, really think about it. When your entire identity is just wrapped up in serving and pleasing everyone else, where do you go? What is actually left of you? Well, the answer is pretty devastating. The symptoms are so real. We're talking sleepless nights, an anger that's been pushed down so deep it just festers, an emotional fog so thick that even happy moments feel distant. And the scariest part? You don't just feel lost, you actually start to disappear. Okay, this brings us to the core idea of his journey. And I'll tell you, it is not a gentle, feel-good kind of path. He argues that real rebirth, true healing, requires something way more radical. So yeah, forget what you've heard about soft, gentle healing. This take is raw. It's gritty. It says that sometimes you have to burn bridges. You have to, so you can give yourself the space and the safety to rebuild yourself from the absolute ground up. He actually frames this whole process as a necessary death. It's about letting that version of you, the one that existed only to please others, just die. So going no contact isn't about hate. It's a profound act of self-respect. It's clearing the ground so something new can finally grow. And this is so key, especially in the world we live in. This journey does not have a deadline. There's no ETA. This whole thing is about reclaiming your time on your terms. It takes as long as it takes, period. So after you make a break that profound, how do you even navigate what comes next? How do you protect that fragile new sense of who you are? This next part lays out the practical framework he built for his own resurrection. And these rules are just crystal clear. They put him back in the driver's seat. Rule 1, no contact unless I start it. That's about taking back control. 2, no responding to guilt trips from other people. That shuts down the manipulation. 3, no need to explain or defend yourself. Just space. And 4, the one that holds it all together, no shame in choosing your own peace over their performance. This is such a critical point to understand. The goal here is not to punish anybody. It's not about getting even. The focus is 100% internal. It's about bringing a truer version of himself back to life, totally free from the roles he was forced into. And this is the ultimate mindset shift. He knows that in their version of the story, he's probably the villain for leaving. But in his own story, he's the one who got free. It's a huge shift from being blamed to feeling liberated. And that final thought just leaves you thinking, doesn't it? The sabbatical, the silence, the escape. That's not the end of the story. That's the starting line. It's the radical first step on a much, much longer journey. What comes next? Well, that's the rest of his life.